So when I sat down to go through the content for next week's pre-orders, I really didn't expect to get this much content. There is truly a lot of new pre-orders coming up next weekend. Now, a lot of it is rehashed stuff, a lot of it is genuinely exciting, and some of it is disappointing. So we're going to go in the order that you can see on the screen here: Age of Sigmar, Direchasm, 40k, and Black Library. So yesterday saw the opening of the first pre-order for Soulblight Gravelords, and there was a lot of content. And this week there's a lot of content as well. So we're going to start with the new Start Collecting box, which is both fantastic and very boring. So what we've got is the fantastic new miniature, the White King on Skeletal Steed. Now this is the only place currently you're going to be able to get this miniature. I'm very much hoping they bring it out on its own in the future. However, unfortunately, they may do what they did with the Chaos Lord on Karkadrak, which was to just make it available in the Start Collecting box and not anywhere else. Now to go with that White King, you get 5 Black Knights and you get 20 Graveguard. Now I know that Graveguard are very common out there, as are the Black Knights, so I was hoping to be able to get this model on its own, but that's not going to happen at this stage. Hopefully they will fix that going forward. Now, I was, to be honest with you, hoping for a little bit more of the newer content to make it into a Start Collecting box for Soulblight Gravelords. So it's not like they're going to bring out a new box for Start Collecting for these guys in a couple of months' time. This is going to be with us for quite a while. However, I don't doubt that soon enough we will get some sort of big box expansion just for the Soulblight Gravelords. Next up, we've got the new Dire Wolves. So these are really cool. We saw these not long ago in a preview. These come in a box of 10. They are designed to get out there and get into the fight as quick as possible and let your main host advance to meet them. I do like them. I think they're pretty cool. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy them. It depends on what the price turns out to be. I do have quite a lot of Fenrisian wolves from the Space Wolves, which I'm going to be able to use in place of these. They look pretty similar except for all the zombie stuff that's going on. But yeah, I think they're pretty cool models. But they will look very good indeed when they are at the head of the pack, which involves our next named character. And that is Belladamma Volga, the first of the Virkos. So as you would presume from her name, she's the oldest of the Virkos bloodline. So she has the ability of the Lichen Curse, which enables her to devolve her victims into lupine beasts. Now the wolf that she rides has a name, so it's Rotherback. It says it's a fearsome pack alpha, and she is a master of sorcery whose command over dire wolves is absolute. And the article then goes on to say that indeed, if you play her alongside your dire wolves, they will get perked. Next up, we have Radukal the Beast. So it's got a little bit of story along here, which is worth reading out to you. In light of recent events, Radukal underwent a hideous transformation into a hybrid form of vampiric monster. Now known as the Beast, he tears through anything in his path with racking claws and unearthly strength. As if that wasn't enough, a pair of Virkos bloodborne loyally accompany their master, protecting his flanks and hewing down anyone fortunate enough to survive the initial onslaught of the Beast. It also goes on to say that he is very good at getting into the battle line forces and tearing them apart. Now for the first part of what I see to be bad news for Cursed City fans out there is we're going to be able to buy Radukal the Wolf. So this actual model will be available only on Games Workshop Online, so it won't be available from your favourite retailers and that kind of thing. So with that, I won't have the pricing for this tomorrow. So yeah, this is the first kind of bit of bad news. I see it as bad news for Cursed City. I feel like if they started to release this, it does make me feel like that game might not have a future. And here's the second bit of what I would say is bad news for Cursed City fans, and this is Radukal's Court. So basically all of the models that are beyond battle line in Cursed City, so anything that's stronger than the zombies or the skeletons, is basically coming out. That one sprue is coming out next week as well. Now I'm tempted to say that unfortunately I'd always thought that Cursed City would come back. I'd assumed that they had sold through their print run, they would print more and eventually it would come back. These kinds of releases, I think it make it a little bit more difficult for that to happen, or quite a lot more difficult for that to happen. I'm not saying it won't be coming back, and I'm not saying that there won't be any expansions, but the sort of content that we're seeing here is kind of telling me that they've established the Soul Blights and this is where they're moving with them, and they don't intend to increase it further in Curse City. But having said that, you know, that's just my hunch. I don't know. Nobody knows. Whoever's going to tell you, ram it down your throat, this is what's happening one way or the other, nobody knows. So I hope it comes back, but it might be difficult. Next up, it's Kritza the Rat Prince. So we saw this in a new model Monday back in March. And he has a really interesting ability. So it says, in addition to possessing the hitting power of a supernatural vampire, he can disappear into a swarm of rats only to morph back into his original form elsewhere, making him nigh unkillable. Now, that's a very interesting ability in itself. It does sound much like the ability from the Dreaded Amble back in Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress for that expansion. So, you know, maybe if any of you kind of fans out there, I know I'm a massive fan of Beyond Precipice, the Facebook group, which is a guy called Gavin. He creates expanded content for Blackstone Fortress. I'm sure that once he gets his hand on something like this, he's probably got something up his sleeve, because he has just started to make Curse City content as well. Okay, now we're on to Lady Annika, the Thirsting Blade. Now, it doesn't actually give any information about her abilities or anything like that. It just says that, you know, she's good for extra hitting power. So no kind of big secrets about this model or anything like that have been revealed just yet. But this is the last model that we're looking at from Age of Sigmar, especially from the Soulblight Gravelords. So just to have a quick recap, quite a lot of new stuff. So we have the new Start Collecting box, which includes the White King on Skeletal Steed. We also have the new Direwolves. We have Belladamma Volga, the first of the Virkos, followed by Radikar the Beast, and then straight after him, Radikar the Wolf and Radikar's Court. Then we've got Kritza the Rat Prince and Lady Annika the Thirsting Blade. Okay, so let's move on to Direchasm. We have got the release of Canaan Reapers, which is also sticking with that undead theme. Now, I really like the look of this warband. I have collected everything from Direchasm so far, and I'm really enjoying playing Underworlds again. Without a doubt, Canaan himself is the highlight of this warband. He just looks absolutely tremendous, but it is impressive looking anyway. I really do appreciate this new warband. It's almost come a little bit too soon for me, because literally yesterday we had the release of Headcracker's Mad Mob, so I've not even got to grips with that warband yet. But yeah, this looks really, really awesome, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Now we're on to 40k, and we have the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. Now this, of course, will come with the standard new Codex stuff, so it will have data cards and dice and that kind of thing, but it also has a new Combat Patrol box to go with it. I like the Combat Patrol box here. There's a RRP value in the box of £127.50, so that is almost 40 quid saving, or around about 35%, something like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to collect this one, just because I will be collecting the Warhammer Imperium magazine, which is going to be coming out in the UK soon, and stateside in the beginning of next year, and that already includes almost all of the content that we've got here. I definitely will be picking up, though, is this Skitari Marshal. It is a pretty cool looking model. It says here that it's a good alternative leader to a Tech Priest, or another support option for your Adeptus Mechanicus Phalanx. We also get a single model for the Drukhari, that's Lilith Hesperax, and she's available for the first time on her own. And next we get all of the models that were in Kill Team Pariah Nexus, so Necrons and Space Marines. So first of all we get the Chronomancer, and we also get the updated versions of the Flayed ones, for which I'm very interested to see what the pricing is going to be for those. Just a reminder that I will be going through all of the pricing tomorrow, so check back tomorrow, subscribe and all that good stuff. Check back tomorrow and I'll go through all of the pricing individually. Next up we have the Captain with Master Crafted Heavy Bolt Rifle for the Space Marines, and to go with him we have the Heavy Intercessors. Now it might be worth checking out the pricing of all of this stuff if you're a collector of Necrons and Space Marines, since they are the kind of the forebearers of the current edition. It will be worth looking out for to see what the prices of these, to see if you're going to buy in on more content, just buying them separate like this, or whether it's worth revisiting the Pariah Nexus and trying to get any of that residual stock to try and make a bit of a saving. Okay, so the first of the last two boxes before we move on to Black Library is Combat Patrol for the Necrons. So this box includes 10 Immortals or Death Marks, a Night Scythe or Doom Scythe, as well as a unit of Swift Tomb Blades and an Overlord. So tomorrow when I release the pricing, I'll also give a breakdown of the costs involved with this box. So Combat Patrol they've all been £85 so far. I don't expect these to be any different, but what I'll do is I'll go through all of the contents of this and the Space Marines box, which we'll be looking at in a minute, and I'll let you know what the individual savings are. And then finally we've got the Space Marines Combat Patrol box. Now if you're thinking that this looks familiar, that's because it is very familiar. Now the box includes 10 Infiltrators or Incursors, an Impulsor, a Lieutenant in Phobos armour, as well as a unit of 3 Eliminators and 3 Suppressors. Now the reason that is very familiar is because almost all of this box is what we got in the Start Collecting Vanguard Space Marine boxes, plus the Impulsor. Again, full breakdown of prices tomorrow. Okay, so now for Black Library. So we have got 3 releases from the Dark Imperium line. So that's Dark Imperium Plague War, and Dark Imperium Godblight. For those of you who are interested in picking up limited edition versions and that kind of thing, Godblight is available in a limited run of 750 books as well next weekend. But obviously that will just be on Games Workshop website, so you will not be able to order that from your favourite retailer. So that's it. What a massive amount of new releases next week, and there's something for a lot of people. So we've got, obviously, if you love the Soulblight Gravelord stuff, there is a lot of new stuff for you next week. I am really a little surprised that they have released everything in just over the course of 2 weeks. You know, there's no let up there. So I hope those of you who wanted stuff got it. And I hope those of you who want stuff next week get that as well. Now, almost all of this stuff I don't expect to have production issues or anything like that. I know we've been pretty light on certain things this year so far. However, I don't expect there to be a major problem with any of this stuff, except for maybe the Radukar the Wolf model and Radukar's Court. I'm not sure if they're going to continue to do that ongoing. I've got a feeling that'll be a case of they've got some stuff left from production, and once it's gone, it's gone. And that is why they're not releasing it as a proper product outside of Games Workshop website. We've got the Direchasm run, which is drawing to a close fairly rapidly. So after next weekend's pre-order, I believe there's just going to be one more warband after that, and then we'll see what happens next. Now I know that Underworlds is very, very popular, so I am assuming them to continue with another range. So we had Beastgrave last time, Direchasm this time, so hopefully there'll be something else going forward. In terms of 40k, lots and lots of new releases, but nothing particularly new. So all of the models that we've seen are things that have been released before, except for maybe the Skitarii Marshal. I don't think that's been out before. I think that might be a new model in itself. But everything else is just repackaged stuff that we've had previously. But still quite exciting. You know, we do get that new codex for the Adeptus Mechanicus, along with their cards and all that kind of stuff. So genuinely exciting stuff there. But I'm going to leave it there now. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll be back very, very soon with all of the pricing for this stuff. If you've got any questions for me or anything like that, let me know in the comments ASAP, and I will get around to them when I do that follow-up video with the pricing. So if you enjoyed this and you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. It will make me eternally grateful. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.